Hi lads and lasses, Modest Pelican here with a video looking at EA. If you enjoy this video, please legally change your name to Modest Pelican Gaming, as then every time you introduce yourself, you will have to say, "Hi, my name is Modest Pelican Gaming, nice to meet you," and this will really help spread the good word of my channel. As a game developer, you basically have 3 jobs. Number 1, make good video games. Number 2, make sure the company is generating a profit and therefore can keep making good video games. And number 3, don't be dodgy malaccas and piss off your fan base. If you can successfully do these 3 things, then your company is more than likely going to be fine and fucking dandy. Then there is EA, a company that has been voted worst company in the world numerous times, but I don't think they care because you know what the bottom line is? EA make a shitload of money. They pay their senior management team ludicrous bonuses. Patrick Soderlund, the guy who called disgruntled fans uneducated, was paid a $20 million bonus shortly before he resigned, or more likely was forced to resign because he was an absolute twat to a large portion of the Battlefield community. You know, the same community that buys the Battlefield games and helped generate his $20 million bonus. Way to think it through, Patty boy. Anyway, you don't pay someone a bonus that big when your company isn't making bank. If EA had not paid Patrick a lazy $20 million, they could have used the money to literally pay for the entire population of Iceland's Pornhub premium subscriptions for 1 year. The point is, purely on a financial level, EA are making a huge amount of money. Now, how is EA making so much damn money? I am sure you already know the answer, but it comes from in-game purchases. Take their sports game FIFA for example. Gamers try and build the best football team possible, and the fastest way to get the best players in your team is to buy randomized player packs and hope that you get the good players. As you can imagine, many FIFA players end up spending their weekends selling $20 hand jobs at truck rest stops so that they can save up and buy heaps of these player packs and hopefully unlock good players so that they can then go and easily win online football games and temporarily forget that they just spent their Saturday afternoon jerking off old dudes at truck rest stops so that they could play as Messi. The bottom line is that gaming companies have realized that to earn the big money, it's all about the in-game purchases. A perfect example of this at the moment is Fortnite. Fortnite is literally a free game, yet it is making a ton of cash by selling various character skins. If you want to play as a gimp, you can. If you want to play as a Randy Mafia member, you can. If you want to play as a seaman, you can. If you want to play as the girl who gave my best friend herpes at that music festival last year, well, you can. Anyway, the point is that gamers spend real life cash to buy skins. They don't give you any in-game advantage, they are just for fun or to impress your friends, or maybe even to show off to cute girls in a misguided attempt to get yourself laid or whatever, but people are happy to buy these skins and support the company because Fortnite is not pay to win and the game is free. Personally, Fortnite is not my cup of tea, but the whole Fortnite saga is kind of genius, as the game takes place on this fantasy island where anything goes, and so the developers can make loads of unique character skins to sell without worrying about issues like historical accuracy. Now let's look at EA's infamous Star Wars Battlefront 2 fiasco. EA tried to make big money selling loot crates, but they fucked up big time because they made the game pay to win. On top of this, the game wasn't free, it was full price, and so obviously fans were pissed off with their greed. And though EA's actions did negatively affect Star Wars Battlefront 2's sales, the game still shipped 9 million copies in the first quarter because a ton of people love Star Wars, but the damage to EA's reputation was really, really bad. It's kind of like EA were the Death Star and Planet Alderaan was an honest Star Wars game. EA destroyed that dream. Wow, that was a below average Star Wars metaphor and was seriously some questionable content. Like and subscribe. Anyway, Battlefront 2 was a pretty decent game, a little shallow maybe, but the maps were spectacular. The problem was, it was completely overshadowed by being a full price game that had pay to win content. The developers might as well have given the middle finger to their fans, and it's scenarios like this which make people so damn skeptical of EA's intentions. Which leads me to the final chapter of this educational erotic video. Battlefield 5. Very early on, the developers declared this game was going to be the most immersive game in the franchise, so fans began readying themselves for an amazing World War II experience. As time went on, it became clear that this was not an immersive World War II game. In fact, it seems to have the customization options you might find in a game like Fortnite. I think there is two reasons why DICE and EA did this, and the first of these is clearly some kind of misguided social justice movement. Patrick Soderlund confirmed this when he replied to the hate by saying, and I quote, "These are people who are uneducated. They don't understand that this is a plausible scenario. And listen, this is a game, and today's gaming is gender diverse like it hasn't been before. There are a lot of female people who want to play, and male players who want to play as badass women. And my wife does me with a strap-on." No, I made that last bit up. Patrick's statements apparently came from a conversation he had with his 13-year-old daughter, who said that she could play as a female in Fortnite, so why couldn't she play as a female in Battlefield 5? We all know there are so many games that have female characters or ethnic characters that are extremely popular and haven't had these kind of issues. Battlefield 1 included, by the way, so I think it's fair to say this is not an issue of gender diverse gaming or diversity in gaming at all. So Patrick's comments were about as meaningful as paid sex. So at first, many fans were frustrated and disappointed because DICE and EA said this was going to be the most immersive game of the series, and the first trailer didn't exactly portray an immersive World War II atmosphere. But after the backlash, instead of engaging with fans and addressing concerns in a calm and professional manner, the senior members of the EA and DICE teams entered a battle with fans, and contrary to my virginity, they seem to have lost it. Perhaps they could have instead marketed Battlefield 5 as historical fiction and just said that from the beginning it was going to be a game that drew inspiration from history, but that the development team were planning to be creative with other elements such as customization in the multiplayer. Sure, this might not have been what some fans wanted, but people are generally more understanding when they know things up front. I had already made a video about this, and I had basically just said that I frankly don't care about this kind of shit and that I just wanted the gameplay to be really good, which is still true. But then you lads and lasses, my subscribers, left comments, stated your opinions, chatted with me, and asked that I make a video looking at the entire situation in a fair and transparent way. And so I am happily revisiting this topic in a less blasé manner. EA and DICE should have engaged with their community too. They should have seen the reaction from the first trailer and immediately started interacting with fans and understanding their concerns. Maybe everyone at the studio wants extensive customization in Battlefield 5, but if fans don't want that, then it would have been better to start a healthy conversation and actually communicate the new ideas and engage with the Battlefield community, not trash the fans. Anyway, the second reason there is all this weird shit going on in a World War II game, and this is where it all starts to make sense, is that EA want to sell in-game loot crates and customization skins and stuff like that in Battlefield 5, and let's be honest, it would be hard to design appealing cosmetic-only items if they stuck to an authentic World War II theme because everyone wore uniforms. So I am sure EA encouraged DICE to introduce as many random-ass cosmetic options as they possibly could because they want to push in-game loot crates, and as DICE have promised no pay-to-win or paid DLC, they have to be cosmetic only. The problem is, this isn't the fantasy land of Fortnite. They chose and promoted an immersive World War II setting and then tried to turn this World War II setting into a suitable setting for cosmetic loot crates. Fans then got angry and the developers responded in the worst possible way. People will likely forget and forgive if a developer makes a mistake or even designs a game with a vision they don't completely agree with. But if a developer calls fans uneducated and implies they are on the wrong side of history with no official statement to apologize or explain, they have turned what was meant to be a fun video game into something personal. And that's what I think the biggest shame is. This game looks really fun. Sure, it isn't the modern Battlefield 4 sequel that many players wanted or the immersive World War II shooter that was promised, but I will be quite surprised if this game isn't a ton of fun. The beta is out very soon, and I am going to shift my focus onto reviewing the core gameplay rather than the absolute shit fight that is overshadowing the hype. I also know there are many DICE developers who have put years of passionate hard work into this game, and the fact Patrick Soderlund was allegedly forced to resign for his statements says a lot. But I think a formal statement from the developers apologizing on his behalf for calling out fans would go a long way. Thankfully, there is still a strong Battlefield player community that makes the franchise so damn fun, and again I will say, I genuinely think this game will be good, and hopefully this proves to be true. But EA, find a way to make your money without being dodgy, so we can just enjoy your games without the bullshit that has plagued so many of your recent titles. I have tried to call this exactly how I see it, but at the end of the day, my opinion is no more important than anyone else's, so please, let me know your own opinions in the comments below. My final thought is that just like a father who catches his son fapping to Fortnite hentai, I am not mad, I am just disappointed. Anyway, thanks to EA for sponsoring this video. Nah, I'm definitely joking. You're all legends, thanks for watching, and thank you to my supportive patrons. Until next time, and as always, stay classy.